Hello, welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, P.I. McLeod, and we're on day 4011, free 3-star dev pool cover. Looking at 4015 coming up here, so that'll be the actual 11-year mark. We'll see what comes up after that. But enough about that. It's time for our weekly history lesson. Crash the Titans. Right? That's what we do on this channel. I sit here and tell you, old Grandpa P.I. McLeod here, about how these characters used to be, how they looked at today, their value back then versus now, just because I've been here. Why not, right? Let's click into it. Deadpool Daily. And we got two of them. Both of them against Carnage, it looks like. That's the icon. Unless someone else is sharing Carnage's icon, and I doubt it. Let's click into it and we'll go one detail at a time. First thing is, yes, it is Carnage. He's sitting here at a 535 build, and Carnage came out a long time ago in the 4-star range of this game. He wasn't one of the earliest 4, but he's definitely in the early, I'd say third. If you took like all the 4 stars, he's in the first third of them. I would guess. I'm saying that only because it was a long time ago. It's been a long time. And when he came out, he was the first character that I could think of where he created things, not only tiles passively, but created enemy tiles easily, hand over fist, the way he does. And because of this, a lot of people let's just say a lot of people didn't want to use him. He was creating enemy tiles, and they were attack tiles. So attack tiles hurting you turn after turn. Sure, you're creating friendly ones, but it took Medusa and other enemy tile using characters to come out to really see what the benefit of this was. They had to basically create more characters to utilize that mechanic for Carnage to start to be viewed as amazing. And he still kind of is. To this day, if any puzzle gauntlet or any other challenge comes up that says, hey, create X amount of attack tiles, who do you think of first? This guy. And you should. That black, if his black passive, the red and green aren't passive. So the black passive ability he has is at 5. You're creating 6 attack tiles a turn. His only way he stops is if he obviously stunned, airborne, that sort of stuff. Or if you have 10 or more friendly attack tiles on the screen, then he doesn't do it. But once you go back underneath 10, he'll start creating them again. There's a lot of attack tiles you can create. You can get through those challenges super fast. He was super well known for pairing with Medusa back in the day when Medusa was fresh into the game. And then combine that with like Medusa or someone else, not Medusa, I'm sorry, Gamora, someone else that would utilize the free blue AP that Medusa would create from it. Carnage using the green, Medusa using the purple, Gamora using the blue. It was a deadly team back then. And it still has a little bit of punch now, although, let's be honest, Polaris kind of disrupted all that stuff. She'd be a good blue user now, though. Same diff, only better. Anyways. Carnage's red is a team hitting ability. Costs 10. But if you have, let's be honest, it costs 7, but you usually cost it at 10, cast it at 10, because if you throw it out there at 7, 8, or 9 AP, or anything cheaper than 10, then you actually do some damage to your teammates. No one wants that. It's the same reason why people didn't like that black power at first, because you're hurting your own team, you're hurting yourself. But, maybe if you can nuke the team and get rid of a problematic person real quick, maybe it's worth it. And finally, his green, which is actually somewhat decent, costs 9, if I remember correctly, 9 green. Destroys 7 random tiles on a board, again, if I remember correctly. And it does extra damage for each special tile damage or destroyed. And that friendly enemy doesn't matter. So, kind of like a poor man's version of Dr. Octopus, 3-star Doc Ock blue, that manipulation ability he has. It's a much worse version of it, but it's the same idea. If you destroy special tiles with the randomness of the ability, you get extra damage. Doc Ock does it better. He just shuffles the board. There's no destruction, but there's a lot more damage going on and a lot more tiles chosen. Anyways, enough about him. Carnage here is a pretty darn good character, especially on a team. Like on a solo, yeah, you could probably get around his stuff well enough. You could plan around it, but one-on-one, he shouldn't be a threat. But hey, let's see who we get to use. We have Deathlok, and if you haven't been around, welcome to one of the better 4-stars in the game. It's not Polaris by any means. I wouldn't say he's Black King level, but he's definitely deserves to be talked about up there. Anything I say right now doesn't do him justice. It's not that he's that good, it's that he has a lot of Swiss Army knife sort of utility going on. Let's look into his powers and let me tell you why. We'll start with... I guess we'll start with Focused Fire. There's so many aspects to look at here. Focused Fire is a passive that basically says whenever your team makes a red or blue match, you gain a focus point, and you get up to 10 of those. Now, with every focus point you have on you, your allied damage dealt to that target increases by a set number here. In this case on my screen, you're looking at my Deathlok's doing an extra 549 damage, okay? If you start to deal match damage, not power damage, match damage to another target, then you lose all your focus points and go back to 0. This ability is amazing. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Pi, I mean, you would need 10 red or blue matches to get up to 5,490 extra damage caused here. That seems like a lot of work for that. No, it's not. I mean, you don't even need that much. This is power boostable. Apocalypse, Okoye, 3-star Aunt May. Anyone who can boost powers can boost this. This number is boostable. So, if you have someone that it can boost a power ability and you make one red or blue match, all of a sudden this 549 gets boosted up to a higher level by that boost amount. Now your matches and powers and stuff to that character are doing exponentially better damage. Right there alone, he's basically treating your match damage like it's a power, and that's really, really very notable. I've used him with various other 5-stars to slaughter a lot of high-level nodes in PvE, and without feeling like it's cheesing. It's not sending people away. It's not using dupes via multiple man. It's straight up damage, and it's very lethal. I put this at 5 just because it just ramps so fast. However, this isn't the end of his goodness. I'm sorry, I missed it. Hey, Amos, how's it going, buddy? Haven't seen it around in a bit. Don't really understand Deathlok, but he smashed Carnage for me easily enough, and he should. I would be surprised if he didn't. So Focused Fire right there is a really good reason to use Deathlok. But wait, there's more. Combat Strategist, you might think, hey, this can't be that good. Pi only has it at 3. No. It just doesn't need to be higher. His passive here, it doesn't change between levels 3 and 5, and that's really what you're using it for. The active ability is just you deal some damage, it ignores protect tiles, invisibility tiles, airborne, and then he gains some burst health. Okay? It does pretty decent damage as a nuke, and the fact that it ignores invisibility, airborne, and projectiles is pretty cool too. But that's not the reason you're using Deathlok. It's the passive below it. At the start of each turn, for each friendly synthetic or technologist on your team, he himself is one of those, you gain 1 AP in the team's strongest 2 colors. Okay? I'm going to stop right there before I read the rest of that sentence. So, if your 2 strongest colors here with Deathlok are red and blue, and they should be, unless you have a support on there changing it up, then you're getting 1 free red AP every turn, and 1 free blue AP on your team every turn. That's 2 free AP, just because he exists. Now, if you have another synthetic or technologist on your team, like let's say 3-star Iron Man is there, he's a technologist, or Human Torch, the 4-star Human Torch, he's in synthetic. Kang is a technologist. It could go on and on. There's a lot of these characters out there. That's 2 AP in the team's 2 strongest colors. You just gained 4 AP for Deathlok just existing. Now make it a team of 3 synthetic or technologist people. You're getting 6 AP a turn. 3 of one color, 3 of another, just because Deathlok says so. Of course, you got to make your team based around synthetic and technologists. Small price to pay for a lot of AP gain. He is very, very well known to be used with Kang for making blue AP over and over again, so Kang can just keep sending people away. He's also very well known for supplying Riri Williams, 5-star Riri, with some red AP, or so that way you could just keep throwing charge tiles out there every turn, or maybe green AP if you boost her with a support, and then now you're stunning everyone every turn, just because it only costs 3 green for her, right? So anyways, there's so many ways to abuse this power, and it's kind of ridiculous the amount of AP you can make on this per turn. It's just 6. And that doesn't even count anything else going on, any other extras you have, or your matches you're going to make, of course. By the way, the statement wasn't done. For each enemy synthetic or technologist, the enemy team loses 1 AP in theirs. So if the enemy team has a bunch of synthetics or technologists, they're going to lose AP. I mean, the hits just don't stop coming. Deathlok is really, really good. Now that's his blue passive on top of the red passive we talked about. Finally, there's his black, assuming control. This one has an active ability and a passive. Let's read the active first. For 7 black, you choose a black basic tile. You create a 5-turn fortified countdown tile on it that increases your base focus points to 7. So if you had 0, now you have 7. If you had 6, nope, now you have 7. Okay, and the start of each turn, you deal 50% of Deathlok's focus point damage bonus to all other characters, ignoring projectiles, invisibility, and airborne. In other words, your allies too. All other characters, your 2 allies and the 3 enemies, get that little bit of extra focus point damage dealt to them every turn. But it's okay. It's worth it, because if you've been boosting his focus point damage with like Okoye, Apocalypse, 5-star Emma Frost, 3-star Iron May, you get the point by now, then the enemies are going to take a ton of damage because of all that boosting, but that boost doesn't apply to your team. Your team just takes the regular base focus damage, not the big old boosted damage. It's worth it. Totally worth using this black just to get that focus damage up and hit everyone every turn. Now the passive is pretty darn good too, but people generally aren't using him for this. But hey, I just call it like the cherry on top, right? His team takes 40% less damage from abilities that target a single character, so not team attacks, and 25% less damage from abilities that target multiples. Multiples meaning team attacks or things like that might hit 2 characters. There's a couple abilities like that, like 4-star Riri's red. It hits 2 people in the back. That would be an example of hitting a multiple but not hitting a team. Okay. While the AI has control, in other words, meaning when he casts his black, only Deathlok benefits from that passive. But otherwise, until you cast that black, your whole team has this nice damage mitigation bonus going on. That's amazing. You don't have to cast the black, but if you're using a power booster character, like we mentioned, I would cast the black. It's okay to lose that little bit of defense bonus if you're going to start blasting everyone with a lot more damage. Anyway, plenty of reasons to keep Deathlok around and keep him in your rotation. He is easily a very, very good character, but he is a support type character. Much like Polaris, who comes out there and does a lot of damage, but she's weak. Well, Deathlok isn't going to sit there and do a lot of damage, but he's going to make everyone else amazing. It's just a character that needs other characters to win, but not necessarily. We're just going to run out there, match a bunch of reds and blues, build up your focus fire, and that way every hit you do is doing a ton extra damage. He shouldn't lose this fight. You might ask yourself, why do I have Helicarrier on him? Honestly, it was for more extra AP. Take a look at the details, just real quick. On battle start, create a 4-turn fortified countdown that generates 1 AP in a random color each turn. That was it. That's all I needed to read. He's already making free AP every turn. I'm like, let's just make more. Yay! I could do other things with him. Put on Taskmaster Sword, put on anything else. I don't care. But that was just me being, well, silly. I wanted more free AP. Anyways, I'm going to unequip it. We don't need it for this fight. And in true Crash the Titans tradition, I forgot to turn on the animations. Character effects on. One-on-one fight time. Carnage versus Deathlok. Take off the boost. We should be ready. Let's go. All right. So if you see a red or a blue match, you automatically got to take it. There's no reason not to, especially red because Carnage likes red. But yeah, I'm just gonna take this blue. Carnage is one of those early characters that has an animation that plays every time his passive goes off, kind of like Polaris. And so, you know, back before they stopped doing that. Look at that, 939 damage we just did. Then the attack tiles hit. Okay, we're gonna do another one. Watch this. 1440 damage. It just keeps going up. Focus fire is amazing. After you smoke Carnage, if you have a minute, talk about Okoye's use. I'd find that helpful. I just champed her, but never equipped and used her. Oh, dude, yeah, honestly, that'll be an easy chat. I could do that, Amos. Let's go. I could just smoke him with this blue real quick, but let's do one more match for fun. I kind of wish we had enough to get the black pulled off. I don't think we do. 2,000 damage. Look at that. Look at all that damage going out. All because of focus fire. He's a 4-star. And he's not Karnak. He's not America Chavez. He doesn't boost his... He's not even Juggernaut. He's not a person that's boosting his own damage with like some sort of... Like, I'm going to punch you harder. No, it's this passive power, this focus fire. Because you're matching reds and blues, he's getting stronger and stronger. And then we're just going to do this. And stare at him with my ugly mug. There you go. Now, that's one Carnage. Is there a different one? Nope. Same Carnage. It's like as if he drank a health potion and came back to life. Oh well. We shouldn't need to do anything different here. I'm going to boost 2 black AP. If only because I want to see if we can get the black animation pull off. I think I got the team boost for this too. Yeah, let's do that. I'm really wanting to get it pull off. Let's go. Just to get the animation on screen, right? Hey, there we go. There's a black. Woohoo! We can do it. Okay. Assuming control. There we go. Yay, we got all the animations out. Okay. So let's take this red. 4,000 already on that damage. All because our focus was up to 7 because of casting that black. And see, it does the damage passively every turn. And Carnage is done. It's ridiculous. I think they wanted this to be a challenge of passive damage output. Like Carnage is doing passive damage output every turn because of his attack tiles, and Deathlok could increase his passive damage output every turn. But it's Deathlok easily just kills him on that. Now, of course, my Deathlok is pretty well leveled up. Yours might be different. But hey, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, whatever, just drop me a line. I'm happy to help you out. I can always point into maybe a support would help you get through it if you can't get through it already. Anyways. Alright, Amos. You got my attention. Okoye, let's go. Okoye, now mine is my only champed 550 character. So don't look at the numbers and think this is how yours should look. Okay? But Okoye is definitely worth it for Wakanda Forever, if not for her yellow indomitable spirit as well. Wakanda Forever says damage from friendly powers is increased by a raw number, not a percentage. This is what makes Okoye so good. It's not a percentage. Like Emma Frost on the 5-star level says it's like a 70% bonus damage, which 70% is nice, but it depends on if the starting number is little or big. 70% of a big number is a big number. 70% of a small number is an even smaller number. This is just a raw number. It doesn't care how much you're starting with. You can start with a measly 1 power damage, but now because you have a team up AP, Okoye says, I'm going to boost that. In this case, if you're reading the screen, it's 2,856 extra damage for each team up AP you have. So if I have 10 team up AP, that's 28,560 extra damage from each of my powers. Now people use Okoye because of that boost, and they use her most commonly with passive damage dealers. So we're talking Omega Red, obviously. He does passive power damage every turn with that countdown tile he has out. That's this much extra damage on every time it fires off. Gore is a very popular one, because Gore creates 3 fortified repeaters at the beginning of the battle, and those fortified repeaters deal like a couple hundred damage, nothing much. No, now they deal thousands of damage because Okoye has some team up AP. Just make sure to boost a little team up AP if you can. If you're at the point where you could afford to put on team up AP boosts, do so. Starting with just 2 measly team up AP. In the case of what you're looking at my screen, is that's almost 6,000 extra damage just because I boosted 2 team up AP. Now, you could also boost this with supports. Certain supports help out a lot more. And oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention before I leave this screen. Her base team up match damage is increased a bunch, so she's usually your tank for team up damage. But more importantly, at the start of each turn, if she's not in front, you destroy a friendly team up AP. So you lose 1 team up AP every turn she's not in front. So this is one of the reasons why she needs to be your tank. She needs to stick up front and do as much upfront damage as possible. She could work without doing that, but then you gotta finagle a couple things. We'll get to that in just a second. This is the second part that makes her a good tank. Indomitable Spirit. For 7 yellow, it's not that expensive. You restore some health for each team up tile on the board. And then you convert 4 random basic tiles to team up tiles. You could get a free team up match just by casting this and be healing yourself. And since she's the one that makes team up matches more often than not because of her black passive, she's probably tanking them and staying up front for this whole thing. It's a very good combo. It works super well for her. It keeps her healed, keeps her in front, and keeps her boosting her allies' powers. Mix and match her with anyone who uses powers passively. Polaris, Medusa, Omega Red, Gore, Immortal Hulk at the 5-star level. Just anyone you can think of that throws up passive powers, use them. Was it? I feel like I missed the damage per team up AP. That is super helpful in understanding why people love her so much. Yeah, it's the entire reason people play her. Now, of course, because she's so good at that, people also see her on an enemy team in PvP, and they have to target her and kill her immediately. Because once you kill her, then the team loses their tank, loses their big power boost, and she doesn't have any big tricks up her sleeve to keep her protected. She doesn't pop up and come back to life. She doesn't have any way to punish you like Scarlet Witch, like 5-star Wanda, I should say, or Doctor Strange. She just sits there and tries to tank all the damage and boost her allies up. Finally, let's get to her supports. I say her supports because they're the ones most commonly seen on her. The one that's top dog for her right now is Fantasticar. It's one of my only 5-star ones because, well, as soon as I saw it and figured out what it did for her, I definitely aimed and grinded that out. Fantasticar, look at rank 3. For the first 4 turns, yes, that's a 4, but it's a Fantastic 4, funny looking 4. Anyways, first 4 turns, whenever the supported character makes a match, increase that match damage by 75% at this level. Swap 2 pairs of random basic tiles, then gain a team up AP. That's the important part. So as long as she's making matches for the first 4 turns, you get a free team up AP every time she makes that match. If she's the one tanking, then she's going to make those, she's going to swap those tiles and she might randomly get a match as well. And those random matches get you free team up AP. It's not uncommon to make a match or two at the beginning of the turn and get a cascade of match into match into match into match. And like, oh, what do you know? I just gained 4 or 5 team up AP. Nice and easy. Now your next turn, when the powers go off again, are that much stronger. Even if it's only like 1,000 or 800 or whatever the minimum damage is that she does with her black passive Wakanda Forever, every one of those team up APs counts on getting that fight done quicker. Let's say you're using her and your 5-star Omega Red is bigger than her. He's got red, yellow, black powers, so those are his colors. So he's out tanking her. You might think, oh well, Wakanda Forever kind of sucks then because she's gonna lose AP every turn. Hold up. Put the Fantasticar, if you have a rank 3 or better, on Omega Red. Now that he's your tank, because we've already just established in this scenario that he's the stronger of the two, he's going to make free team up AP for every one of his matches. And then she can sit behind him, and sure, you're going to lose a team up AP every turn if she's not in front, right? But odds are he's making at least one, if not multiple matches because of the whole tile swap mechanic. And so whoever, Omega Red himself and whoever's your third character, can keep going power crazy for the first 4 turns. More often than not, enemies are all dead by the time 4 turns is up. Let's go to another option, support-wise. People used to use a Royal Talon Fighter a lot on her, and it's still not a bad option at all. Before Fantasticar, this was her ride. If I could scroll this for you. The big reason is when a supporter character makes a team-up match, it's rank 2 for this, okay? There's a 33% chance to gain 2 extra team-up AP. It was a small percent, it's less than half, but the fact is when she makes a team-up match, an extra 2 team-up AP can be gained. That's pretty solid. So if you do have like Omega Red or someone else tanking over her and they're using the Fantasticar, put the Royal Talon Fighter on her. Just in case she makes that match and she's the one tanking your team up AP, which she very well could be because of her black passive saying she does so much more team up damage. This will make sure she gets even more team up AP with it. But the best reason of all is down at the bottom here, equipped to Okoye. Now it's faded out because I don't have it on her right now, but I'll just read it anyways, nice and easy. Her powers cost 1 AP less for every 5 team up AP you have, up to a reduction of 2. In other words, at 5 team up AP, all her powers cost 1 less. It's 1 less. That means her yellow, that's the important part, costs only 6. If you have 10 team up AP or more, her yellow costs only 5. Very cheap in order to heal her and create more team up tiles on the board. So very good ability to put on her as a secondary if she's the one not tanking. Finally, this one gets a special notice. It can't go on Okoye, but it should go on one of her friends. If Okoye is in the fight and she has a friend in there, some sort of ally that can equip this, you really want to put this on them. Scroll, scroll, scroll. It's around here somewhere. Did I already pass it? Oh yeah, it doesn't go on her, so it's over here in the locked area. Excuse me while we dig it out. There it is. Omnipotent City. I don't need to go into all the details of Omnipotent City. You need to know just one thing about it. You put it on a godlike character. You see it, I have it on Gore. Gore is considered godlike. That's an affiliation. One of the abilities on Omnipotent City says your team's first match of the game, no matter what the color is, and this includes team up, you get, was it +3? +3? Now I think I have to look it up. I think it's +3 extra AP in that color. And now I gotta look. Dang it. Click, 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 click. Omnipotent City. It was a 3 for me, wasn't it? Yep. Yes, it is. There it is. Okay, now I gotta look. Yeah, there it is. Synergy perk at the bottom. So if only for the godlike characters, your first match of the battle grants double AP. Yeah. So if you make a match 3 of team up AP, it's actually worth 6. If you make a match 4, it's worth 8. But it's just, you know, you double your AP in whatever your first match is. That's enough. There's plenty of other cool abilities in here, but to have her and let's say Gore here start the match by making a team up AP match, and then now you have 6+ team up AP on there, and this isn't counting what the Fantasticar might be doing or anyone else, any other supports or abilities you got going on. It's very common to start a lot of Okoye Gore matches with 8+ team up AP off of first turn. And then all of a sudden, your little shadow monsters from Gore or Omega Red's ability is just wreaking havoc. It's crazy. Anyways, I hope that was enough. I hope that explained it all, why people use her as much as they do. She melts PvE, but of course, she is a support character, so you got to put her with people that are doing the damage, like Omega Red, Gore, someone else who has passive power damage that you can rely upon every turn. So that's it. If you have any other further questions, Amos, let me know. You can always drop me a line in the chats here. I'm happy to help out. Thank you all very much for watching. What's that? I appreciate the deep dive. Yeah, the current fan of the favorite color star or yeah. Totally throw them in rotation. You'll watch a big change. It'll be a big time change for you if you're not using someone like this. I'm just saying, maybe you do have a different team. I don't want to poo-poo any plans you currently have. Maybe you're running Shang-Chi and Mighty Thor and you're doing really fast wins, which is very possible. But this is such a smooth churn of the PvE nodes. You just constantly you go into a fight, 1 or 2 matches, and it's done, melted. Next node, 1 or 2 matches, it's done. And it's very little work. Anyways, only championship 5 stars on Shang-Chi and Valk, but I'm looking forward to this team. Yeah, this will be a big changer. Shang-Chi's awesome, don't get me wrong. Something to do with the fact that you make a match and people die without you even having to watch, like, big numbers popping up. It just passively happens. They drop like flies. Okay, for real though, I gotta get going. Amos, drop me a line if you need more help. I'll help anyone else who wants to drop a line as well here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Xbox. You got it. I'm there. Thank you very much. See you next time. Later.